Let's haul some books. Hey guys, I am back for book haul number 2 for this month because I went to the buy sell trade, and then one of my lovely patrons, Izzy, sent me a ton of books. She was getting rid of a lot and asked me if I wanted some, and I said sure. And so there are quite a bit here. Some she bought specifically for me, some that are unhauls for her and clearing out her shelves and everything like that. That's some stuff that I had wanted. And so I'm very excited about this. And then I have another arc. So let's start off with the arc. It's one I'm so excited for, have been dying to get my hands on, have been anticipating the release of. That's Air by Sabaa here. I'm so excited, so excited. This is her adult fantasy debut. And if I remember correctly, it is set in the world of An Ember in the Ashes. All this says here is an orphan, an outcast, a prince, and a killer who will bring an empire to its knees. The first book of a ruthless and romantic new duology about the burdens of power, the treachery of love, the devastating consequences of unchecked greed. Prepare for a dark and enthralling journey that will captivate a new generation of readers and longtime fans alike. So yeah, very, very excited for this. So I'm just like, I'm pumped. I can't even begin to explain how pumped I am. Then we will go to the buy sell trade books because that's what I have stacked on top here. I purchased The Silver Wind by Nina Allen. This is a fantastic book revealing a zone of wonder and a world of truth. So I have not heard about this book, but I loved the cover. You guys know I am a sucker for a beautiful cover. But then it said, a powerful tale of time travel, time lost, time regained, and time disrupted. In this remarkable narrative, watches and clocks become time machines, vehicles to explore alternate realities, and the unreliability of memory and roads not taken. That's what sold me. That's what sold me. I do like time travel in my books. I don't read a lot of it, but there are some, like The Time Traveler's Wife and Outlander, things like that, that I've really enjoyed that element of the book. And so I want to try something else. And it's fairly short. So I figured this would be a nice, quick read to see if I like something else that has a portal fantasy type element to it. This one, I could not pass up the cover again. It is The Resurrectionists of Calico, a striking portrayal of society from the gutters to the royal palace. Oh, with a murderer on the loose, it's up to an enlightened body snatcher and a rebellious princess to save the city. Fantasy noir. I'm very excited. So this does kind of remind me of The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. I don't like Josiah Bancroft's writing, so I was very excited for that series, and then I was very let down when I started reading it. I knew I wasn't going to like the writing. I had been told, but this sounds very similar, and now I'm excited for this one. One that I was surprised to find at the buy sell trade, there was an ARC copy of Scorpica there, and I have been meaning to read this for quite some time. I've been told by quite a few people that I will like this book by G.R. McAllister. And since this is the ARC copy, I don't have an actual synopsis other than the draught of girls sets off a cascade of consequences across all 5 queendoms of the known world, throwing long-standing alliances into disarray as normal orders of succession are interrupted and queendom turns against queendom and new threats to each nation rise from within. So yeah, political fantasy. I'm always down for that. And we have queendoms in this instead of kingdoms. So I'm very, very excited about that fact. So this next one, I've owned the combat codes for quite some time. And then I found Grievar's Blood at the buy sell trade. And yes, it's book 2. I'm going to have to purchase the series. I do this to myself all the time. I don't know why I do it. This does not match the copy that I have because my copy is the self-pub copy. The hardback printed on the cover, really cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of that one, but that would mean I have 2 copies of the same book of the combat codes. But I did want to get the rest of the series because I'm very excited for it. It is a series that I want to start next year. And I do believe all of the books have been published traditionally now. And so I can get the other 2 in this format. And then maybe, I don't know. I think my copy's even signed. So I don't even want to get rid of it if it's signed. But anyway, combat codes, sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, I can't read this one. This is the second book in the series. I know there is like some kind of academy martial arts are part of this. That's about all I know. But I have been excited to start the series. And then I got The Sin in the Steel by Ryan Van Loan. And I got it because it's grimdark, or at least that's what the synopsis made me think. Hero for hire if you can pay their price. A brilliant former street rat with a mind that leaps from clues to conclusions in the blink of an eye. A military veteran with a hidden past. Buck's partner in crime. No, in crime solving. But yeah, it sounded very grimdark. A multi-layered attack on tired adventure tropes. Two mercenaries wrongly accused are forced to investigate a crime, one that transforms them and their world forever. A blistering paced, amazingly fun, and thoughtful read. So that was the one that got me. How can I not fall for a character who throws hot tea at people? Okay, KB Wagers, I really need to get to KB Wagers because every time I see something written by them, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to read something by them. They're so funny. But yeah, The Sin in the Steel. This is going to go in my stack. Oh, Grimdark, you can't even see it. Like, I'm hiding the whole stack. Let's see. There we go. There we go. My stack, Oh, Grimdark, behind me for a current or near future read. One that I've owned on audio for quite some time, and then just stumbled across this at the buy sell trade, went ahead and purchased it because I love the cover. And if I don't like the book, I have a feeling it'll sell fairly easily, but that would be A Cathedral of Myth and Bone by Kat Howard. Myths for the Modern Age. In these 16 exquisite stories, Kat Howard deftly weaves in and out of the countries of myth and hagiography to write the lives of women untold and unexplored. So, did I know that this was going to be short stories? I did not. But I'm also not mad about it. Now for the books that my friend Izzy sent me. I have a Buffy comic. I love Buffy. I'm absolutely obsessed with Buffy. And I thought it was very sweet that she stuck a Buffy comic in there because I'm just a huge fan. Huge, huge fan. And she likes to send me some of the indies that she has read and reviewed, some of the indies that she has read for competitions and things like that. So then I get some of those books whenever we exchange books, because we do exchange books. I have a tendency to send her books as well. But I got Woe to the Victor by Nathan H. Green. If I remember correctly, this was SPSFC, one of the books in that. Earth's been destroyed, but the fight's not over. Nathan H. Green, author of Galileo and Treason's Temple, brings his degree in aerospace engineering to space combat in this action-packed, hard science fiction thriller. It's Earth's last day, and Captain Lewis Black drifts through space watching it burn. The pilots under his command are dead. The war with the Mavari is lost. Air hisses into space from around the stump of his severed arm. In the distance, a Mavari ship approaches. Whether to torture him for information, capture him as a prisoner, or take him as a trophy, he'll have one last chance to hurt them. Natasha Palmer, lead engineer on the failed Reaper missile program, knows humanity's last desperate plan won't work. She's got one chance to change that, but it will mean a leap of faith beyond all others. Humanity is vanquished, but some battles bring only woe to the victor. So it sounds really interesting. Also, can you see there is a cat in the helmet? Rattler. That may have been a selling point for me. This is a series that I have been interested in for quite some time. And I do need to get the first book and the third book, but it is The Queen of Ismoraz by John Scavran. And if I remember correctly, that is not the correct name of the author because they have transitioned and that is not the name that they go by anymore. But I do not know their name currently. And so I'm just going to talk about the book because this is what I have. But it's the second book in a series that I've been very interested in. The first book is The Ranger of Marzana. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point because this is the second book and I don't have the first book to read the synopsis of, but I will get my hands on them and then I will let you know all about that. Okay, and then another one that I do believe was in SPSFC, Highway 181 by D.S. Ullery. And this doesn't tell me anything about the book. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's a signed book plate in there. I don't remember if this was SPFBO or SPSFC, but I think it was in one of those competitions. And it sounded good. And I think it's urban fantasy, maybe. I'm not sure. Horror? I don't know. But it is one that she talked about, and I was like, okay, when you're done with that, can you send it my way? And The Souls Aspect by Mark Holloway. This has made the rounds and a lot of indie favorites, and so I want to be in on it. And it says right here, a healer turned killer. How'd that happen? I need to know. That is all I need to know. But Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads has praised this book a lot, and I do believe Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative, don't quote me on that. There has been quite a few people who I follow who've really enjoyed this series. A series I've been dying to get to: Jonathan Nevere, Goodbye to the Sun, Jadi's War, Wind Tide. I've been very, very intrigued by these for a really long time, and so Izzy knew that and sent them my way. Again, indie published. These are sci-fi, a non-stop thrill ride across an unstable galaxy, combining moral struggle and character-driven adventure. So character-driven, not exactly my thing, but I have heard that I will like these. And then the two she purchased for me, knowing my taste and what I love, I'm very excited to have the Advent of Winter anthology. If you guys pause and look at all those names, you will know I've read very many of them. Abdallah, Ardalon, Argyle, Black, Cahill, Greylock, Hardy, Kelda, Lend, McCrae, McDermott, Meredith, Newell, Obey, Olson, Pickering, Rossell, Rosero, Ross, Solomon, Tekken, Tinsley, Wilburn, Witham. You might also recognize some of those names from YouTube because Tori is in here, A.R. Witham's in here, Jim Wilburn is in here. Anyone else that I can think of that had, well, Bookborn's husband is in here, Argyle, Zach. But yeah, I have read this. I did really, really enjoy it. Most of the stories in this I gave 4 stars. There were a couple that were 3 and some that were a 5. And I am so happy to have this in my hands because I do want to go back and kind of tab it a little bit. I know it's a special edition and I'm not going to highlight or anything like that, but some of the stories I want to go back to, like Cal Black's, I really loved hers. Zach Argyle's, I really liked his. There were a few that I really enjoyed, but I want to tab them so that I can go back to those stories, reread them when I want to, especially since these are very wintry stories. I want to be able to look at this and be like, oh, I need a hint of the coolness of the atmosphere because it's so hot here right now. So hot. And last but certainly not least, this actually got to me whenever she told me that she got me this book, because this year I have fallen in love with Carrie Maniscalco's Kingdom of the Wicked series, and she got me Throne of the Fallen. I'm so excited for this. Now, if you guys have paid attention on Discord or on my YouTube channel, I did start this book and then I didn't DNF it. It's in my pile of shame. I had read too much in this vein at the time I picked it up, where my brain was just not processing it. It was over it. It was done with it. And so I do want to go back to this, and I think I'm going to let this rest until next year before I pick this up, because I love Kingdom of the Wicked. So I just need to get back into the right headspace for this one. All right, that is my book haul, my second book haul of the month. Oh, let me just say this. I have received my fairy loot. It was Long Live Evil. I have read Long Live Evil as an ARC and I didn't like it. So I was like, okay, I already know that I don't like this book. Once it gets here, I'm just going to post it on my Pango. It was gone within the hour. So I did receive it and I've already sold it. So there will be no fairy loot for August for me. So like, subscribe, do all the fun things. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.